All right. I have really no clue if this is even on. 1, 2, are we here? I think we are. All right. Well, hello folks, it's very nice to be here. Gonna have some lo-fi beats today. All right. So, quite a lot of things happening today. One is that I have... Whoa. I have a new host, and I'm going to be moving some sites over to that new host. I'm also going to be doing a little correction to the framework, I think. Do let me know what you're working on today. I'm always interested to know. So, what we're going to work on. Let's have a look here. There's a couple of things with GitHub that are a wee bit of an issue right now. And I think before I get started, I'd like to have a little look at those, you know. I do hope that you have starred the Trongate framework, folks. Super important, you know. Pardon me. Okay, let's have a wee look. When exporting JS using module assets folder, returning a main type of text plain. Is that true? I think I would like to check that. But give me just a wee minute. Okay, so I'm going to check out what this person has said here, and I appreciate his comment, of course. So let's just have a wee look and we'll see if there's something to this. I'm going to go to here. Okay, now that's from our tutorial last night that went on YouTube. I'm going to close this little beauty. Oh, why is that following me? Alright. I'll open up this little beauty here. Finished updating and delete. Now, what on earth is this? Ah, oh right, okay, I've got you. So last night I got a new version of the framework out. I switched to 1.3.3021. Very soon we're going to be reaching version 1.infinity, you know. As soon as the dust has settled, don't you worry, we're going to have a beautiful and fantastic framework, the likes of which has never been seen before. Alright. So let's talk a wee bit about what the dude says here. If I maybe should hide my screen, because I don't want any passwords to accidentally show up here. That would be not cool. Okay, so let's have a wee look at what the dude was saying. I'm going to go into authors, going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it assets. We're going to have a new file. And the new file is going to be API.json. Alright. Now, let's get one of the, oh you miserable swines. Let's try again. Another test. Fine. Oh gee. Right. Looking for an older version here that I can check. That will do fine. Okay, so we have an authors module. Oh gee, we have a books module here. Now let's think about what the guy's saying here. He says when exporting JS, the server's returning a MIME type of plain text that needs text JavaScript. Right. Okay, that's nothing to do with the API manager. I need to wake up. Okay, let's just say new file, test.js, alert, hello. Okay, so let's now head to the controller file. I'm just going to make up a little thing here called test, and I'm going to say this view test. We're going to have a little view file here. Goes by the name of test. Have a little page. And I'm just waking up here, man. I apologise, I'm a bit slow right now. Alright. It's the test vibe. Now, I'm going to include that little beauty by saying script. And then we can see source equals. Now, let's have a wee think about how this works. What we say is authors module /js/test.js. And that's the wrong URL. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to open up the inspector here. Alright. Now when things don't load, sometimes it's good to go onto this network thing here. Let's have a refresh. Okay, so hold on. You know what? I never put it inside a JS folder. So inside assets, we'll have a new folder called JS. And inside here, we're going to have our test.js. Okay. I need to add the base URL in. No, that looks fine. Assets, JS, alert, hello. Oh, what? Hang on. Okay, let's have a wee look at something else. Oh, geez, it's underscore module. Well, that was today's deliberate mistake of the day. There we go, finally. Alright, so saying that it was returning a... Yeah, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. So, you don't need the line 2. Okay. Is this an issue we're looking at? Oh, it's a pull request. Okay, let's have a wee look at what we've got here. So, okay, so this is core.php. Now, I'm going to do a wee search for /JavaScript. And I am so glad that this did not have it, otherwise I'd be in real trouble. So let's have a look at the change then. Now, first of all, I don't think there's anywhere else in the whole framework that says /JavaScript. Okay, that doesn't count. Right, that's good. So we'll just do yeah. It's probably stupid, but I want to be really super cautious here. Alright, cool. So let's have a look at these changes then. Saying that in line 62, okay. Okay, that looks like a legitimate change to me. You do not need this here, string 2 equals string position. Okay. Okay, I think the suggestion is good. So let's just see if we can pull this in. Now how do we do it? How do you do it? Oh gee. Right, here we go. Great. Yeah. Now, when I write this comment, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it seems like I'm being a wee bit cavalier here, doesn't it? Like, you know, basically I'm like, if there's anything else, just tweak away and submit another pull request, blah blah blah, do what you need to do, you know. It seems a wee bit laid back, but these two people here, Jake and the other person, GS Tisk, I happen to know that they are extraordinarily talented developers with remarkable backgrounds. So I don't really have to worry when I get stuff coming in from people like that, you know. Not to say that everybody else is in a lower level or anything. We're all equals in this life. But we are certainly really, really fortunate and grateful to have such incredibly talented people on board. Now, I'm going to just say I have no idea what's going on. Okay. So, yeah, that's where the last video finished. So after that, we did something like that. Right, we'll go back here. There you go. And now I'm going to just pull in the... You must... Oh, jeez. Right, okay. Okay. Helps if you're in the right thing, you know. I will wake up shortly, don't worry. Okay, so here is the Strongate framework. Going to hit pull. Is this the thing? Is it done? Is it done? No, that was another one. There's a lot of wee tweaks happening with the model lately. Did I not pull the thing in? Merge pull request. Oh, it's core. Okay. Well. Alright. Let's see if we can... There we go. So it looks like we had a few tweaks happen there. And let's review what they were. Gary. Bless you, Gary. So there you can see on the left we said if content type is text plain. So he's added in a little if statement text HTML, which is just fantastic. I would not have caught that, folks, you know. So that's just really, really great, you know. Let's see what else we've got here. Here he's added in text that or text HTML. Again, I don't think I would have caught that, so that's great. And then here on the core. Yeah, so it turns out that when you serve JavaScript files up, you have to say text/.js. That's really, really great. And they are all very, very solid. Folks, you have no idea of the caliber of people we have on board, and it's just so great. I mean, at the moment, it's mostly me, you see. Hello there, Symbian Eyes. It's mostly me you see doing the tutorials, and I suppose for better or for worse, I am the face. Hello, Scott, my friend. It's good to see you, Scott Weston. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder how you found out about the channel. I appreciate that. My self-esteem took a real battering these last couple of days when they decided that they did not like the framework. Hello there, Aziz. Nice to see you, my friend. What a fantastic name. Aziz. Sounds, I don't know, like something from Greek mythology. Arthur is here. Let's code together. That's all we're saying, folks. That's all we're saying. Nice to see you here, my friend. You're very welcome. Oh, folks, man, I tell you, I need a hug. I need a hug. They were so ruthless. They were so brutal. But we're here now, and I think that we're actually going through a sort of tipping point just now, you know. There's a whole lot of stuff happening that I think's exciting. And it's just a good time, you know. Alright. So what else have we got as far as this thing goes? I have one pull request. Access, oh yeah, that was this one. I remember this. So I had requested a Skype call here. Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to request a Skype call with that one. But if you look over on the top right hand side, folks, you'll see that we've got 75 stars, which for a framework with no documentation, no website, hasn't even been launched, you must admit it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And I said to everybody, I said if we can get this up to 100 stars before launch, I promise we will have a top 10 PHP framework. I said at the time that we would have a top 10 PHP framework in 2 years. I'm going to modify that. We will have a top 10 PHP framework within 1 year of launch if this gets 100 stars before launch. We're currently at 75. Now, by the way, don't mistake GitHub stars with YouTube stars or Facebook likes or something like that. GitHub stars are nothing to do with whether you like me as a person or anything like that. GitHub stars, ladies and gentlemen, are the metric by which people measure the success of a framework. Now, that's not perfect, and in fact we are at a disadvantage because I've got software that just goes right past GitHub. People don't even know that I'm using GitHub when they're using the framework properly. So I have to actively say to people, will you give it a star on GitHub all the time, you know? It's just one of the things we have to do. But this is everything right here. I've looked at the top 10 frameworks. We need about 1,400 stars to get to the top 10. If we can get 100 before launch, I promise we will do it. And somebody has just starred. God bless you. God bless you. Well, that was worth my little speech, right? I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Simon. Thanks so much, man. Oh, geez, Simon, it was killing me. It was killing me. It got to... I'm not even going to focus on it. Thankfully, here's the good news. I mean, there was a moment where I thought, I'm going to find out who this dude is. I'm going to knock on his door and I'm going to smash his head in. I mean, it was like that level. And I'm so glad that saner heads prevailed because I never did that. I was just like, I'm leaving. God bless you. I'm out. And that's it. And I think that's the best thing you can do. But, you know what really annoys me? I don't mind if people don't like what we're doing. I certainly don't mind if people say that I'm a rubbish developer or that they think we should have such and such a feature, or even that I'm a complete idiot. I don't mind. But there are two things that happened in there that I've never seen in the history of my life. The first thing is malicious accusations of security holes in the framework. Those malicious accusations have now been investigated, not only by me. I sat with Derek, flipping dude's contributed to the Zend framework and everything. And we took the time and went through it all, and it turned out to be bullshit. Those security concerns are debunked. There was never any danger with the framework. And where's my apology? You'll never see it. Instead, you'll see comments up there probably till the end of time saying this framework has security holes in it. Just absolute bullshit. And even when you prove them wrong and you say, no, you're not taking it within the context of the framework. Look, we've tried, it's solid. You never get a word of apology or anything. So that was new. I've never seen that. Another thing that was new, I had some guy yesterday talking as if I was some kind of a con artist, you know? And that really, really bothered me. I mean, I must be the worst con artist on earth because doing this has driven me to the verge of financial ruin, and I'm not looking for sympathy there. But, you know, I have 400 to get me through till Christmas, so who knows when. And I've said to those around me, this Christmas, all you're getting from me is love. That's it. It's all I can afford, you know. And it's just the way it goes, you know. But thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate the support, Prashant. The good news is, folks, there's so much good news happening. We are at a sort of tipping point right now. Now, I'm not in a position to tell you everything that's going on behind the scenes. And the reason why is because A, the people involved have not agreed to be mentioned behind the scenes. And also, it might all fall flat on its face. But Simon here since he is the godfather of Speed Coding Academy, he has an idea of what's coming up. And that's why he's going to say, he's right, we're at a tipping point. And we are at a tipping point. Because what has happened, ladies and gentlemen, is that for the first time in the history of PHP, somebody has stood up and called bullshit. It has never happened before. It has never happened before, at least not this way. Now, when somebody stands up and says, this is bullshit, and what exactly is the bullshit? Well, you don't need me to tell you. I've discussed it loads of times here, right? Self-appointed code police, rewrite culture, pointless features that nobody needs, templating engines for a templating engine, third-party libraries, you know, just a complete removal from even the code itself. It's bullshit. I know great developers, God bless you, Simon. I know great developers who don't know the basics of SQL because they've been using these technologies that are so far removed from the code that they just don't know. It's not their fault. But we have a sort of a bunch of frameworks or whatever that is just dumbing people down, you know, and they are slow, they are unreliable. Now let me qualify that. When I say unreliable, I'm not saying SQL injection or something. I'm saying, look, if you rewrite something or reversion something every 6 months and you email everybody and say, right, you need to go back, it's backwards breaking, new version, by definition that's unreliable. I don't need to look at a solitary line of code here, you know. So anyway, somebody stood up and turns out it was me and declared bullshit, and unapologetically. Now, by the way, as I've said before in here, I think that what's happening with PHP is also happening with NPM. Full disclaimer, I'm not here to attack any particular developer or any particular stack or anything like that. It's a bit nuanced. What I'm attacking, if anything, is the ecosystem, you know. So I'm not saying don't hire such and such, this person's an idiot. It's really clear to get that, right? But what's interesting is Ryan Dahl, who invented Node.js and now has gone on and promoted Deno or Deno. I've watched his seminars and I watched his launch for Deno, and there's no question that if he and I got in the room, we would agree on everything. And when I watched his events and all that, I was like, this guy agrees with me. And he took the time and he had great slideshows and everything. And basically, to give you the Reader's Digest, he, along with I, are saying that this doesn't really make much sense. The ecosystems that we use to share code are oversized, over-engineered, open to all sorts of security flaws, particularly in the case of NPM. And by the way, my qualifications, look, I don't need to be an expert. Go to Google News and search for NPM. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. Somebody stood up and declared bullshit. Now, he did in his own graceful way as well. He declared bullshit. Slightly different community. But when I watched his launch, and when I watched his various seminars, because I followed it closely, here was a guy with the same opinions as me, and I realised that there was a mistake. I had to sit through 20 minutes before I got it. And I realised that if we're going to have an impact, we need to be obnoxious, loudmouth lunatics, or at least I need to be one. And this is why it's so important to effectively call bullshit, and as crude as that may seem. Now, here comes Jason. Jason says, why should I use PHP over JavaScript? I used it a year ago in a major project. It's not even that good. That's a great question. It's a really, really great question. And I have a good answer. The answer is stick to JavaScript. Yep, stick to JavaScript. The ultimate rule of all of this stuff is if there's something that you like, you should stick to it. That's the thing that makes you feel good is the winner. To go into a little bit more detail though, Jason, I would say this to you. PHP has got a very unusual relationship with JavaScript, and I'm going to show you a video here. I'm going to use this in the launch because I think that PHP developers will understand what I'm about to show you here. I'm going to head over here. I'm going to do a little search for Equality Street, okay? Now, this is what the relationship between PHP and JavaScript is like. Imagine. This is JavaScript. Okay? So JavaScript is hip. JavaScript is cool, young, and then suddenly, boom. Right? Let me do this again. So imagine the older gentleman here is PHP and the young person's JavaScript. This is the relationship between JavaScript and PHP. So here comes JavaScript, and then boom. And JavaScript's looking across and going, flipping heck, do I even need this person? Alright. That right there. You see this? Let me show you. You see that picture right there? That's JavaScript on the left, and that's PHP on the right. Here's what I mean. There are a lot of PHP framework makers, and even in the Python world, where they say things like, we've found a perfect partnership, and we've started to partner up with Tailwind, or Vue.js, or such and such. And this framework, the two of us are so beautiful, and we're so perfect together, and we do such a great job. When in fact, what's happening is that. And JavaScript is looking at PHP and saying, hang on, why do I even need this character? What does this old, out of shape, uncool character have that is any use to me? And you know something? JavaScript character on the left is 100% correct. I agree with JavaScript character unreservedly. And I don't blame JavaScript character for having that look on his face. So here's what we're going to do. And when I say we, I mean those of us who are the founders of the Trongate framework. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to find a problem that JavaScript developers have, and we're going to solve it in a way that is more cool and better than anything they have seen before. Instead of going like this and jumping in front with shit that JavaScript doesn't need, we are going to give them stuff that they do need and that they're going to love. And I have identified the thing. There's a very specific problem that JavaScript developers have that nobody is solving. At least not in a decent manner. You can probably guess what it is. The problem is how to make a secure custom backend system quickly. At the moment, There are lots of ways of doing this, but all of them involve a whole lot of faffing about. Would you like to see how quick it is to build a secure backend system using TronGate? I do hope you're watching, Jason. Watch. I'm going to open up the TronGate desktop app here. And my little Mac Mini is going as slow as ever right now. Anyway, pardon me. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say create new app. I'm going to call this app for Jason. Because it's for you, Jason, my friend. I'm going to download from GitHub and set up a new installation of the TronGate framework, complete with desktop. That's it done. And now we're going to imagine, let's see, Jason, statistician. Okay, so let's create a new module, and we're going to call the module stats. Oh gee, it's stats. That's all you're getting from me because I'm half asleep here. Now that was a little mistake there. Hang on, I'm half asleep. Right, here we go. So we're going to modify our existing app. It's the one that was there a minute ago. So we're talking about the thing for Jason, right? Okay, so here we go again. Special treatment for Jason. We're going to create a new module. I'm going to say statistic. I need to say it in singular. I apologize. Okay, so here we go. Now, it's going to say, do you want a little label? And I'm going to say fine. It's going to say, do you want a little icon? And I'm going to say, sure thing. It's going to load up a fabulous, do you hear me? A fabulous little icon search. I'm going to see if there's a graph. No, there's not anything. Is there a chart? Ah, here we go. That looks kind of good. What are you into? What are you into, Jason? What are you into, Jason? Touch the screen. I can feel your energy. Oh, go again. Go again, Jason. Come on, touch the screen. Okay. Okay, he likes this one. Interesting. So we're going to add some properties. And I'm going to say something like, now what would it be? How about something like stock symbol? Now notice I'm writing the word stock and it's auto-completing with symbol. This is the kind of thing that you can do when you've been a developer since the 90s, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, stock symbols usually don't have a length above 5 characters, so we'll change the max length of that one. How about if we add in date added, something like that? Or would you like a little date and time perhaps? Or maybe we can do the price first. Let's do that. So I'll just say decimal. There you go. I'm saying price. We're going to go, well, you can do excluded, including, who cares? But this is going to be the stock price. And we can have a date and time if it makes you feel good as well. So this is going to be something like date. Yeah, date and time's fine. Okay, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to hit submit. Now I'm not going to bother with a URL column because I'm not doing SEO, but I'm going to order everything by ID ascending will be fine. And I'm going to create this new module here. So it's writing the code and it's downloading all of the code and setting it up. So now I have, if my little rubbish, fuck. Okay, do you know something? I did a pull request at the start of this stream and the pull request has just broken the framework. That's embarrassing. Give me two minutes. Okay, chat amongst yourselves and pretend there was a beautiful page there. Holy moly. Alright, let's have a look here. Unexpected error, core line 2112. Okay, 2112. Okay, we're missing, I can feel it. We are missing a normal bracket here, is it? Yep, we're missing that. That's it. Okay. That was a pull request that I just did. But here we are, Jason. Look. See? And I can create a new record. Let's put a stock symbol in. What are you into? How about Amazon? They're doing quite well, surely. AMZ, I think, is Amazon's stock price. It's probably about a gazillion right now. And we can chuck in the date and time and all of that stuff. Now, see all of this date and time bullshit? Jason is not, I repeat, he is not impressed by this. He's not impressed by the way that you can add comments in. He's not impressed by the way that we have a full secure admin system. He's not impressed by the built-in search engines, the pagination and all of that stuff. He is not impressed, ladies and gentlemen. Not because he's some kind of a shyster. The reason why he's not impressed is because he's looking at this right now, and rightfully he's thinking to himself, I can do all of this with JavaScript. And he is absolutely right. So here's what we do for Jason. You see how this is called statistics? I'm going to go. We say to Jason, by the way, Jason, you don't need to use this. Relax, forget about it. Do your beautiful JavaScript stuff. You're awesome. And then Jason, one day, needs a back-end system. And he goes to API, Explorer, / statistics. And suddenly, he finds an entire cavalcade of endpoints here, all ready to go. Here's a GET request. You know, we can do insert requests, insert batch, you name it. It's all here, tokenized, beautiful, absolutely ready to rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason is smiling. Am I right, Jason? Talk to the people, Jason, because I think that you are smiling. I can feel that energy. And that, my friends, is the relationship that Trongate is going to have with JavaScript. Instead of jumping in front with a bunch of bullshit that they don't need, we're going to give them stuff that's going to make their lives easier. And they're going to love it. They're going to absolutely love it. Would you like to see how these endpoints are defined? Sure. Check it out. We have a modules folder here. Here's our statistics module. And inside this assets folder here, api.json. Look at it, it's just JSON. Nothing new. There's no YAMLs here. There's no strange thing that you have to learn. You just define your endpoints and away you go. So that was an excellent comment from Jason. I appreciate the comment. And remember, folks, JavaScript is awesome. We are not declaring war on JavaScript. On the contrary, we are saying to them, you guys are awesome. We acknowledge what you're doing. We love what you're doing. And we just hope that we can give you something that will be of value to you. That's all. So keep doing your JavaScript, Jason. All right. Yeah. Simon is, of course, 50 steps ahead of us, you know. I want to say, just by the way, whilst I've got a few folks here, what I said to Simon privately. We really, really are at a tipping point, ladies and gentlemen. We really are. There's a whole lot of things going on. Somebody has called bullshit, and it turns out that people agree. I was saying just the other day, I had a guy from the Alexa team join Speed Coding Academy, and I think he's a super talented guy, and I shouldn't give names or anything just now because I don't want to do anything ungraceful, but we have some really, really great developers on board. We're now at the stage where a lot of the time when I look at pull requests and stuff, I don't even know what's going on. And I think that as we approach this tipping point, I really wanted Simon to know, you know, that when this all kicked off, I was so overwhelmed because I had to do a course, I had to build a framework, 2 desktop apps, 400 videos, and Simon was a one-man technical support department. Without any pay or anything, he started up a forum and he helped everybody free of charge, and I will never, ever forget that. I don't care if Tim Cook phones me in 5 minutes. Tim Cook, I love you, that's great. But Simon will always have a very special place here for doing that. And I'm just super grateful, you know. I think that there's a good chance, by the way, that we're all going to get lost in the crowd soon. I mean, even now, my inbox is going crazy, you know. But before we get lost in the crowd, I'm telling you where I stand on this publicly. And I will never, ever forget that. And there's no scenario where I go away, make fortunes, and then just leave people who have helped me out sitting there waving me on, you know. Alright, let's move on. You need library. I need a library. Yeah, maybe I do. Okay, how to build a live streaming app just like blah blah blah. Funnily enough, I don't know. Arthur says, PHP without JavaScript is like a gun without ammo. Using JavaScript on the back end, using PHP on the back end, my friend, I think that might be a typo, is like a grenade. Yeah, but again, the thing is, let's have a little nuance and be cool, right? If we say to JavaScript developers like Jason that you should change the way you code and start integrating PHP with everything, and that you should start building pages like this, okay? So, hey Jason, stop doing whatever you're doing and start building stuff like this, right? It's just going to annoy him, and rightly so, because this is what we're looking at in front of us right now is JavaScript's strong point. Quite frankly, JavaScript's better at this type of thing than PHP. And so, if you look on YouTube right now, I'm doing a tutorial series called Code-Igniter for Trongate. Pardon me, from Code-Igniter to Trongate. There's going to be a series called Trongate for JavaScript developers. And it's going to be entirely different. Because I don't want Jason to use pages like this. I want Jason to do whatever he's doing. And heaven knows it's probably better than anything I could do. So, as far as JavaScript goes, don't try and talk them out of what they're doing. Instead, give them something super cool that they will appreciate that nobody else is giving them. Even with an error, and an embarrassing error, I've just built an API, a back-end system that JavaScript developers would love faster than anyone on the planet, and I never had to even open a command line interface. So give them something that they would like. And not only that, but it's important as well for those of us who don't know about the history of JavaScript. Realize that when you're talking about JavaScript, you're talking about a monumentally important technology. And I don't just mean in terms of popularity. I'm talking about in terms of what they have done. I cannot recall a time, I don't think it's ever happened in the history of the industry, where something went from a scripting language to a low-level programming language. But when Google built the V8 engine, that's exactly what happened. And I tell you folks, as far as I'm concerned, there have been 3 significant IT events in our lifetime. These are like, inventions of the steam engine stuff. One of them was in the mid-1970s when a bunch of unhappy Motorola employees decided, we think we can do better than this. And they started up their own company called MOS, and they invented the microchip. Changed everything. The next significant event was run about the early to mid 90s This is when the web as we know it appeared on the landscape. The third groundbreaking and earth-shaking event, which unfortunately has gone unreported, but to me it's up there with the other two. It was the creation of the V8 JavaScript engine. Ladies and gentlemen, that event was monumentally important, and it would be a huge mistake for us to write that off as PHP versus JavaScript. Those people have got a whole different flow, and we should never ever mess with that or insult that or anything. What they're doing is different. Instead of going against them, we should be giving them something that they will love, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, I'm done with this. So, let's have a look here. Just found VS Code extension. Oh, it's awesome. The VS Code extension is actually overwhelming. It has so much going on, and the presentation is excellent. Simon and Jake did a really great job with that. And of course, it was nothing to do with me, but it's really great. All right. So, shall we do a wee bit of work? I think we shall. Now, I'm gonna, let's see, computer, set alarm for 3:15.
Is that 3:15 in the morning or in the afternoon?
In the afternoon. All right.
Is that 3:15 in the morning or in the afternoon?
It's 3:15 in the afternoon.
Alarm set for 3:15 p.m.
All right. So, let me just get my act together and we shall begin. Alright, so we had a question there come in from, is it Heimel? Anyway, the question is there any visual JavaScript tools that can help us to build something big? Well, I've got the API Explorer, and I think it's probably the best one that I can find. The reason why I say that is because I based it on Loopback. I have done more training on Loopback and more tutorials than anyone. I've published more. I know it inside out. Loopback was bought by IBM in 2015 for an undisclosed price. I went through Loopback, learned it inside out, and then I got rid of all the bugs and all of the useless stuff, and then added in some cool stuff. So, as far as API management and all of that goes, Trongate is ready to compete against Node.js. Now, as far as your question goes about libraries and stuff, it's a good question and I've got a good answer. Look, I am pretty much the no bullshit guy. I mean, if you just randomly name something, there's a chance that I think it's bullshit, if I'm being honest, right? If I were to list all of the things that I happen to think are bullshit personally, I don't think one of you would agree with me. You might agree with some of them, but then maybe I'd say something like unit tests are bullshit, and there'd be some of you who say, hang on, he's gone a bit too far here, you know? And I'm aware of that. So here's the way it goes, folks. Trongate is a truly modular system. Think of it as being like Lego or something like that. And Trongate comes with its own ecosystem. So what's going to happen is, if you love unit testing, for example, now I don't, but maybe you do. If you love unit testing, you're going to be able to download a module for unit testing and use it. Somebody mentioned migrations the other day and says, oh, what about migrations? Folks, I don't want to give anything away. I was talking to somebody on Skype who has invented a module that crushes migrations. It's like click of a button. Do you want to back up your site, your database? You know, it takes snapshots. So whatever you are into, you'll be able to build a module for it, and then you can have it, you know? So please don't make the mistake of assuming that you have to agree with me on every single thing, or that, you know, just because I think something's bullshit that you have to agree and not use it. I've always said code in a way that makes you feel good. The one that makes you feel good is the winner, and never have a guy like me tell you what you should and should not use as far as technology goes. Alright. So, one of the things that I was saying in thank you, Simon. And it's funny because I've never said that before, actually. And all the time I've been waffling, I've never said it before. Anyway, one of the things that I teach at Speed Coding Academy is that us developers are one of the few bunches of people who actually have a legitimate reason to use the Tor browser. It's not even dodgy. And let me show you why we might want to use the Tor browser. If I head over to Speed Coding Academy, we get this. Hello my little beauties, I'm currently moving SCA to a new server and a brand new hosting company. Blah 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 blah. So I'm moving across, right? And this is speedcodingacademy.com. Now if you visit that page, you might get a different page. I wonder if perhaps some of you could try that. However, what's happening here? is there's some sort of DNA cache going on. It could even be the telephone company or something trying to save some bandwidth, who knows. But now, I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to open up a private window with Tor. Here it is here. Okay. I'm going to go to the same URL. Oh, now look at this. Well, this is unusual. What's going on here? This is very unusual, so I'll explain in a minute. First, let me get past this. Okay, I think we're good. Looking for a boat here. Alright. And again, we are on the Tor browser, and look at this. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Suddenly, it works. So what just happened? Well, with my normal telephone connection, there is a cache of Speed Coding Academy. Now there's nothing I as a developer can do to change that. I just have to wait. Sometimes you have to wait a day or two, in fact, for the DNS to change over. But when I use the Tor browser, I do hope you can hear me. When I use the Tor browser, I'm accessing Speed Coding Academy from a totally different location. So there's no DNA cache issues here. And here we are. Now the stuff that you saw at the start there, where it asked me to answer those questions to prove that you're a human being, that is some really, really cool stuff. And I'm going to explain what's going on, because this will blow your mind, right? So I'll do a video on this maybe and give you the whole thing, but basically Speed Coding Academy is on a normal hosting account, okay? Just a normal hosting account. Normal shared hosting account. It's fine. But what happened is, to avoid denial of service attacks, to get free security and have a padlock on the page without having to worry about Let's Encrypt, and to get more control over the domain, to make the page load faster, and so on, Speed Coding Academy has been added onto a thing that you may or may not have heard of by the name of Cloudflare. It's a CDN, right? So imagine this is a network all over the world with copies of Speed Coding Academy. Now what this network does is it grabs a copy of Speed Coding Academy from here, and it sends these little snapshots to these servers all over the world. And in doing so, it checks for denial of service attacks and things like that. So did you see when it said you're not a human being? I did not build that. This was the content delivery network doing that. It's really, really advanced stuff, folks. And in fact, if I just view the page source here, I've never done this before. Here we go. Yeah, that's awesome. So anybody who looks at that code will notice that there's no indentation or anything like that. So as well as serving it from different locations and stuff, the content delivery network compresses your HTML and your JavaScript and everything else. And it's a beautiful, beautiful and really, really advanced system that most developers don't even know about. Guess where you get to learn about this stuff, folks? Who teaches you all about this? Where do you think? Let me give you a clue. Probably not on YouTube. It's a real drag when you show somebody something that you think's impressive and nobody gives a rat's ass. Alright. Okay, I need a picture. Okay, so I don't want to open from my computer, we'll just say new project. Okay. Anything we like. I think I'll go with let's go with this one. Okay, I'm gonna say uploads ahoy. And we'll head down here and I'm going to say I'm currently switching to a new hosting provider. There are times when I will have to hide the screen during this process. Thanks for being here. There we go. All right. So this is my little PNG file. I'll chuck this on the desktop here. I'll call it uploads ahoy. And then now I have to be careful. This is the point where I find myself appearing on screen half the time looking like I've just climbed out of a skip, you know. Okay, give me a moment folks, I'm just selecting a little file, do not adjust your sets. Just selecting a little file so that I can do things like this. Alright, I hope that worked. Well, thank you very much, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm just seeing, keeping an eye on my screen and seeing if I got that to work there. There we go. There we go. Excellent. Good. All right. Okay, it looks like we have another pull request here. Let's just have a little look at that. So back over to GitHub here. All right. So what we got? 26 minutes ago. Yeah, that'll be the removed extra bracket. On the contrary, should he not be adding an extra one? An extra bracket? Let's have a look. Oh, do you know what? Let's have a wee look here. Engine, core. Okay, so we're talking about line 112. That's interesting. So he added a bracket, I took a bracket away. Pardon me, he took one away and I added one. Okay, I would normally write it slightly differently from that, but if it works, it's cool. Let's just... Okay. So let's see if we can get this one happening. There's quite a lot of activity happening with regards to pull requests and whatnot, you know? So I don't really want to do a release until this has settled down. A release is when I send a thing out that goes to all of the software apps and they all update themselves, you know? So it's kind of a major thing. But hopefully that'll do us for the moment. Okay. I'm just trying to switch my lights on here. Give me a minute. Okay, so it's nice to It's so nice to be streaming. I don't know if I've ever said this to you before, you know, but live streaming is my favourite thing as a developer. I don't know why, I just love it. If I'm being entirely honest, I don't enjoy teaching. I don't, because I'm just so paranoid, and you know, you have to listen to your own voice and make sure you get everything right. You cannot listen to music and teach at the same time. I'm happy that I can put that stuff out, but I'm not hanging about saying, oh, I wish I could be a teacher or something. I just, if people like it, God bless them, but it's not my favourite thing. But this right here is just brilliant, man. I love sitting here and doing some live streaming, and it's nice as well because when you've got people like Simon around, it's a huge reassurance for me, you know, because if something goes wrong, then there's something broken, I know that people like Simon and Jake and others will find it in a heartbeat, you know, and it's just really, really great. So I thought I'd say that, folks, you know. Alright, and here comes Gear as well. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome. Now, Gear, you are banned. Do you hear me? Banned from sending me any more money. Crazy rock and roller. He's been giving me very kindly super chats, which I'm so grateful for. And we're now at the stage where it's getting a little bit embarrassing. So I appreciate you, and I've had a few people actually have given little donations from time to time, and don't get me wrong, it's appreciated, but in the case of Gear, it's really starting to get embarrassing. Alright, and there's Arthur says he's happy to hear coding along. Well, that's what the live stream's all about, because especially during times like this, sometimes we find ourselves living incredibly stressful lives, you know, and many of us, even at the best of times, we don't have an office, we don't have any office Christmas parties or anything like that. And I hope that in some way, maybe this can be your office, you know, we have a few friends here, maybe we can have our own office Christmas party. And of course, if you've got any challenges, especially if it's anything to do with my own stuff, you can just ask and I'll be happy to help, you know. If I can't figure it out, I'm sure somebody else will, you know. Alright, now I am going to have to hide the screen because freaking accent. Now, is that a compliment or an insult? What do you reckon? Anyway, I actually learned something, you know, from doing podcasts and whatnot. You know how when you listen to your voice and you sound horrible? Well, the bad news is that's exactly how you sound. But there's good news. What I learned is that you can make yourself sound a gazillion times better if you just use pace and tone. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all. Little bit of pace and tone. So, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we can all sound... I cannot stand my accent. I don't like my accent. I don't like my voice. I never play these things back, by the way. But I know that we can all sound a wee bit better by just doing simple little changes. Did you see how I slowed the pace down? That's what I'm talking about. That type of thing right there. Telling you, man, it'll change your life. Alright. I'm going to have to hide the screen for a while, because I'm going to have to do a little bit of uploading here. And one thing that would be helpful to me would be if anybody could confirm, when they go to Speed Coding Academy, do they see this message or do they see the ordinary homepage? I'm getting this message here. I think it's to do with my phone company. And it's just, there's nothing I can do about it, you know. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can get my emails across. I may need to phone in for a bit of assistance, but I'm going to have to hide the screen with your permission, and I'll play a little bit of music that will hopefully help you to do some coding. I'll be right back. Alright.